I will conquer my opponent. Defeat will not be in my creed. I will believe where others have doubted. I will always uphold the prestige, honor, and respect of my team. I have trained my mind and my body will follow. Who am I? Who am I?
I'm the champion.
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 Thank you for giving us this great opportunity to play high school football. Promise to run hard, hit hard, tackle hard, and play hard. We will play this game like men, unconditionally. Thank God we play for Vacaville High School. Great place to be. Amen. Let's go.
Aroma of playoff football is in the air as the path to a Division II Sac Joaquin section begins tonight here at Tom Zunino Stadium. The Vacaville Bulldogs from the Monticello Empire League, the number 5 seed, are hosting the Honkers from Yuba City, who tied for second in the Tri-County League. I'm Zach Popp here with the Solano College Sports Network, and with that, let me introduce my broadcast partner, Greg Popp, and we are seconds away from the opening kickoff. Kahuna, what does the road team need to do here to get the win here at Tom Zunino Stadium?
They've got to make sure they get the ball to their two playmakers, running back Bryant Seaman and wide receiver Joe Horn. You look at these two kids, they have scored 27 of the 40 touchdowns. For Vacaville, if they can key and stop those two players, put the pressure on the sophomore quarterback, Brandon Shalowitz, I like Vacaville's chances in this game, but don't count out the Yuba City Honkers. They had a tough non-conference schedule. This is an experienced team on the rise. We got a young upstart program against the successful established program. Should be an exciting night of Friday night high school football.
And the 5-12 game is set. The opening kickoff fielded by Vacaville at the 20-yard line, and they will start their opening drive right around the 30-yard line as Michael Walker there on the return. And now looking at Vacaville, what do they need to do here offensively here on this opening drive, partner?
No secret with what the Bulldogs are going to do. They're going to try to run the ball down the throat of the Honkers. They're going to get that ground game going, and I suspect they're really going to key on defense, really stopping the run game, make Shalowitz put the ball in the air and try to beat them through the air.
And DeMonte Moore last week had a huge game in their rival game against Wilsey Wood, had over 150 yards on the ground, and he also crossed pay dirt 4 times. So let's see if they get DeMonte Moore going here early. Hecking play action. Kane Cunningham was open in the flat, but the pass thrown behind him, so that'll bring up 2nd and 10. And now looking at Chad Hecking, what's he really need to key on here? Try and get that running game going and get that play action going here later on as this game goes?
Well, he's got to be more accurate with his passes. You saw that right there. Just threw the ball behind Kane Cunningham, and Cunningham had some space out there on the far side of the field. Hecking just has to play within himself, not get too psyched up because it's the playoffs, and just manage the game like he typically does.
DeMonte Moore gets it. He's got a seam. Picks up 5. First down and more. Turns on the Jets down the sideline and stiff arm and finally tripped up. Big time run there for DeMonte Moore. A pickup of 40 yards.
And that was a nice tackle there by one of the DBs coming up. And I was hoping I wasn't going to have to say this kid's name. Taylor Wolfslager with the stop there. And really, he was the last guy between Moore and the end zone. Nice tackle by the Honker DB.
And looking at Vacaville's offense, you see this quick break out of huddle. They give it to Walker on the end around, and he gets wrestled down for a loss of 3. Big time play there by Bryant Seaman, who's one of the best two-way players in the Sac-Joaquin section.
Yeah, you got a lot of guys on this Yuba City team that are going to play on both sides of the ball. Joe Horn, Seaman, those guys are big studs offensively, but also 2 of the best defenders for this Yuba City Honker team.
We've got Kane Cunningham and DeMonte Moore in the backfield. Pitch right. Moore. Nowhere to go. Tries to bounce it back the other way, and he is tackled for a loss of 2, and it'll bring up 3rd and 15 for the Bulldogs.
Boy, an outstanding job, too, by number 60 for the Honkers. He had outside containment and kept it. Did not let DeMonte Moore get to the outside, and that's what you need to do. You have to turn him inside to face the pursuit. If the Honkers can do that, they're going to be able to hang against this vaunted rushing attack by the Bulldogs.
And exactly where Vacaville does not want to be, 3rd and long situation. Hecking sets up the screen, and this one thrown behind his intended target, Michael Walker. So Chad Hecking, 2 easy throws and have not been close to the receivers. 4th and 15 for the Bulldogs. So good stand right here. Yuba City gave up that 40-yard run to DeMonte Moore.
Yeah, they need to get one more stop here, and deferring, even though they won the toss, going to be a pretty good strategy if they get the ball back.
4th and 15. Hecking rolling out to his right. Throws this one, and incomplete, trying to hit Dulon Stevens. So nice stand defensively for Yuba City, and they're going to start their first possession at their own 35-yard line. Now looking at Yuba City, I think we're going to see a lot of John Horn, the senior wideout, along with the stud senior running back, Bryant Seaman. Seaman nearly 800 yards on the ground this year with 17 rushing TDs. And Mr. Horn, 33 grabs, 860 yards, and 10 TDs. And the sophomore gets his chance to shine here as Brendan Shalowitz, the QB, threw for over 1,000 yards and 7 TDs to 2 INTs this year for the Yuba City Honker.
And so important for this kid to get some confidence early in the game. If they can get this passing game on track, they got a chance.
Bunch formation. They give it to Seaman up the middle, and he pushes a gang of tacklers for about a gain of 5.
Good surge there by the O-line for the Honkers with Gage Welty at left tackle, Taylor Gregg at left guard. You've got the center, Anthony Bagley. Jordan Kafalt is the right guard, and right tackle, Lane Asher, probably the best player on the offensive line and the defensive line. Keep your eyes on number 77.
2nd and 6, another tight bunch. Seaman gets it and picks up a couple, so that'll bring up a 3rd and manageable 4 situation for the Honkers.
So nothing fancy about what the Honkers are trying to do right here. They're just going mano-a-mano with the Bulldogs, just trying to run the ball straight up the gut.
And Yuba City, like Vacaville, a run-first team. They throw the ball a little more than Vacaville does, of course, with the sophomore quarterback, averaging 336 yards a game, over 200 yards on the ground, and 117 through the air. 3rd and 4. They pitch it to Seaman, and he is taken down in the backfield for a loss of 1. And a big-time tackle right there, big number 15, Ramon Gonzalez.
Ramon Gonzalez getting in on the defense for Vacaville. Not a kid that's always in the starting lineup, but make plays like that, kid, you're going to see a lot of playing time.
So as this game goes, we're going to break down the Division II Sac-Joaquin section playoffs. And I just know I would never want to have to play that 1 seed. The Grant Pacers, one of the best teams, not just in the Sac-Joaquin section, but in all of Northern California. Deshaun Collins, one of the best running backs in the country. Yuba City, high punt. Reed Ramirez fields it at his own 26, trying to bounce it outside. Skips around at the 40, gets a little D on high step action as he scampers out of bounds at the 44-yard line. So good job by the Vacaville defense, 3 and out. A nice return. Reed Ramirez getting Chad Hecking the rock back in good field position.
And big-time block by number 25,
Cassius
Reynolds. He's going
field.
Cassius Clay there, taking that defender out, giving some space for the punt returner. Nice return. They're going to have the ball right at their own 45-yard line.
And I think it's important for Vacaville. This is going to be a physical type of game. They got to get 2-4 the rock. Kane Cunningham gets it up the middle and picks up a couple.
And Kane Cunningham, he's got it all working. Last 2 games, over 100 yards rushing in both of those games. You're absolutely right. Give the ball to 24 and then pitch it out wide to 6. Should be good tonight. I think the Honkers might have something to say about that, though.
It's always nice when you have 2 first-team All-Mel players in your backfield. DeMonte Moore gets it, bounces it off the right, and he is taken down immediately. Nice tackle right there. I believe it was Austin Southward there to bring down DeMonte Moore, who's very tough to bring down one-on-one in open space.
Yeah, that's 2 excellent tackles we've seen by a honker against DeMonte Moore. As you said, Zach, very elusive runner for the Bulldogs, hard to bring down. Good fundamental tackling displayed thus far by Yuba City.
3rd and 8 for the Bulldogs, Hecking under center. They give it to the receiver Walker, and he's right around the first down marker, and he has enough for the first down.
And that's what's going to make it tough for Yuba City because Vacaville, especially with their run game, they come at you from so many different angles and positions, constantly keeping you off balance. And with a lot of these kids going both ways, look for Vacaville just to try to wear down Yuba City as this game progresses.
1st and 10, Moore bounces it, and he is taken down right around the 42. So that gives us a chance to run through the Vacaville offense. They have 2 all-male players on the left side, Michael McCauley along with Trevor Stewart, Alden Borja. The center, Jesse Mendenhall and Austin Bird on the right side. And, of course, DeMonte Moore and Kane Cunningham seeing the rock here early. Both first-team all-male selections. And Dulon Stevens along with Reed Ramirez, the receivers. Hecking rolling out. Moore in the flat, has it. First down. And taken out of bounds right around the 30-yard line by John Horn. Flag in the backfield, and this one is coming back.
So Vacaville having trouble getting untracked offensively. We didn't see that last week. They came on strong against Will C. Wood. 2 quick touchdowns up 14-0 in that one. Struggling just a little bit against this honker defense here in the first quarter.
And looking at Vacaville, they've had a lot of first-round success in the Sac Joaquin section playoffs. They've won 7 of their last 8 first-round matchups. The last loss in the first round for Vacaville.
2008, baby.
Good. I didn't want to have to look at my notes.
Nevada Union.
Up in Grass Valley.
That was right after that thrilling 28-27 victory over Will C. Wood.
I'll tell you what, I knew they were going to lose in the first round of the playoffs when they beat Wood by 1 point, so.
And Wood almost nailed a 50-some yard field goal to actually win that game.
56-yarder, I believe, went right under the crossbar.
Yeah, Vacaville has not lost a first-round playoff matchup since 2008.
So the chop block brings it back 15 yards, 2nd and 25. Stevens has it, screen set up, and he gets back into honker territory at the 49-yard line.
Great concentration by Dulon Stevens there.
That
ball was
actually
that was tipped by Bryant Seaman, but Stevens able to keep his focus on the ball. That's so tough to catch a ball after it's been tipped. So nice play by Dulon Stevens, and now still a ways to go to pick up a first down.
And that 15-yard penalty crucial to Vacaville because they're a run-first type of team. They don't want to be in these 2nd and 3rd and long situations. Hecking gives it to Moore, trying to get it to the outside. Breaks 1 tackle, and he gets close to the first down markers as finally Gavin Stranik's there to push him out of bounds.
And that time Yuba City just failed to get the outside containment.
And enough for the first.
You don't do that against DeMonte Moore. He's going to burn you every time. This kid can run really, really fast. He gets around the edge. He's got a chance to take it to the house every time.
So 1st and 10, Bulldogs. Cunningham gets it.
Boom.
And picks up another first down for the Bulldogs. And right at the 20-yard line, so in the red zone, first time here tonight for the Bulldogs. Once again, you're checking out the Solano College Sports Network. I'm Zach Poff here with my broadcast partner, Greg Poff. Finally getting a break from the camera action there, sir.
Finally getting in the broadcast booth.
Cunningham gets it, breaks 1 tackle, and taken down after a gain of, we'll call it 3.
And Yuba City better get used to it. Vacaville's just going to keep coming and coming and coming. Kane inside, DeMonte outside. That's a tough 1-2 tandem to handle. And it looks like Vacaville finally getting things untracked offensively.
And if you're Vacaville, just run it through the left side. Give it to Cunningham again, and the ball comes out. I believe Yuba City might have jumped on it. And it is honker ball, so a turnover by Kane Cunningham, and Yuba City pounces on the loose football, and they take over right around their own 10-yard line.
And I think it was Bryce Andros, one of the defensive ends, that actually got his hand on the ball, knocked it away, and created that fumble.
And we get a replay coming up right here. It's a great defensive play by Yuba City there to force the fumble. And we'll get that to you here after the first down play. So nowhere to go for Yuba City on the first down carry.
Just stacked up right at the line of scrimmage there, and pretty good defensive front for these Bulldogs with Malik Walker and Christian Carmichael at the defensive end positions, and big Jeremiah Lamau, 5'11", 285 pounds, anchor in the center of the field at the nose tackle position.
And Lamau, along with Walker, both first-team All-Mel selections, along with cornerback Amari Johnson and Luke Andrzejczyk. Gets Vacaville to jump off sides. Brandon Shallowitz getting his Andrew Luck on right there with the hard count.
How about the sophomore there? Hard count gets the Vacaville Bulldogs to jump, and it's a pretty experienced front up there. In fact, you look at this.
Vacaville's always experienced.
Yeah, but you look at the defense for Vacaville, mostly seniors out there, and a lot of these kids have played 3 years, so a very experienced defense for the Vacaville Bulldogs.
2nd and 5, Seaman taken down, so that'll bring up 3rd and 2. And, of course, Yuba City coming out of the Tri-County Conference League, finished 5-5 overall, but tied for 2nd, 4-2 conference record. And the team in first always dominating the Sacramento area. Intercom, one of the most talented teams in the Sac Joaquin section. And Vacaville, on the other hand, the first time they didn't win the Monticello Empire League since 2008 when Napa took home, and Napa won it again this year, finishing 5-0 in the Monticello Empire League. They run it up the gut, and that's going to be close.
Yeah, head coach Mike Papadopoulos for Vacaville only has 3 male losses in his career since he started coaching the Bulldogs in 2005, all 3 losses to Napa.
And looking at the head coach on the other side for Yuba City, John Ithaburn, in his 8th season, 52-36 overall record. But looking at 2013 and 2012, the 2 best seasons that Yuba City has had under their head coach, 11-2 last year, made it all the way to the semifinals, lost to Del Oro in the D2 semifinals. And they got by Grant in the 2nd round last year.
That was last year.
So 4th and 1, they go for it. Seaman has enough for the first down as Michael Walker brings him down, but after the first down is picked up, Yuba City going for it. 4th and 1 inside their own 20. I like it.
Just a little slant right behind the guard, number 51, Tyler Donaldson, in clearing the way. Nice block by the offensive lineman.
So 1st and 10 for Yuba City. They run a lot of this tight bunch formation. Seaman in motion. And this time they give it to the tight end. And nice run right there for Brandon Thong.
Brandon Thong found a little crease in the line and able to get through there, cut to the outside. Nice pickup.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 2. So we're already at the 3-minute mark just about here in the first quarter. 0-0.
And Yuba City just keeps pounding the rock. Look for them to try to get the ball to Joe Horn, maybe throw him.
Seaman follows his blockers. 1st down and more. And he's finally taken down at the 39-yard line. So you'll see a lot of this for Yuba City. Long drives, just picking up 10, 11 yards every 3 plays.
And that's what you need to do against the Bulldogs. Keep the ball away from that vaunted offense. Control the clock.
So the fumble by Kane Cunningham took points off the board for Vacaville. Now Yuba City driving after the forced turnover. 1st and 10 at their own 39. And this time the quarterback gets in on the action. Brandon Shalowitz there to pick up about 3 yards on the carry.
And Shalowitz can run the ball. He has 82 carries, 339 yards, averages just a little over 4 yards a carry when he decides to take the rock and cut upfield. He has 5 rushing touchdowns to go with his 7 passing touchdowns on the season. Not too bad for a sophomore.
Yeah, a lot to build on for this Yuba City team. They got a sophomore quarterback who they're going to have for the next 2 seasons. Seaman gets it almost. A fumble there, but Seaman a good job to hold on to it, and that'll bring up 3rd and about 6.
And John Ithaburn doing a great job with the play calling, just keeping things nice and simple, moving the ball on the ground, controlling the clock, exactly what the Honkers want to do.
So a big 3rd down right here, 3rd and 6. And they run this one with Taylor Wolfschlager, and he picks up maybe a yard, so that'll bring up 4th and a long 4. Punting team coming out for the Honkers.
That name kind of sounds like a drink. Hey, I'd like one of those Wolfschlaglers, please. And it'd be hard to say after a couple.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to get the pronunciation out on that.
Of one of those Wool whatever.
Reed Ramirez back at his own 25. Almost a block there, and this one's going to bounce and take a little bit of a Yuba City roll. Vacaville have it at their own 20, so that gives us a sec to check out the Sac Joaquin D2 bracket. Of course, Grant, the number 1 team, they're taking on Patterson tonight. Downey Antelope, the 8-9 matchup. Vacaville and Yuba City here tonight. They take on the winner of the Del Oro-Roseville game. And I know Yuba City wants to get their hands on Del Oro. Del Oro has knocked Yuba City out of the Sac Joaquin section playoffs in both the last 2 years. And you got St. Mary's, Doug Martin's old school, taking on River Valley, Rockland Del Campo, the 6-11 game, Burbank and Wilsey Wood, the 7-10 matchup. Wilsey Wood had to go on the road. And Elk Grove and Vintage, the 2-15. Kane Cunningham, a nice move. And I like Coach Pop. He fumbled on his last carry.
Gives it right back to him.
Right back to 2-4. And a nice first down run there for Cunningham.
Boy, and talking about the D2 Sac Joaquin Division playoffs, it is stacked. I mean, obviously Grant is the favorite.
Nobody's beating Grant.
Might be one of the best teams they've ever had. And that's saying a lot. They've had some pretty good teams in the past.
Flag in the backfield as Kane Cunningham gets the carry and picks up a couple.
Yeah, I think it's going to be against Vacaville. Motion penalty, probably going to back them up 5 yards, but we'll wait for the officials to give us the official call.
It's coming back.
Boy, and back to Grant, you just look at some of the running backs now that are having success, especially in the Pac-12.
I know you're big on Devontae Booker.
Devontae Booker just tearing it up.
See the best running back in the Pac-12? You got a couple of dudes at Oregon. Royce Freeman, a freshman.
Don't forget about
Buck Allen.
Don't forget about Buck. Buck's pretty good.
And Royce Freeman, another kid from California at Imperial High. And he's just killing it for the Ducks so far this year. So after the penalty, 2nd and 10. And nowhere to go for Kane Cunningham. Picks up 3, so that'll bring up 3rd and 7 for the Bulldogs. So Yuba City's defense doing a good job keeping Vacaville not in any 3rd and manageable situations. And that's the way to beat Vacaville. You got to force them to pass the ball and get away from the running attack.
And the Honkers, not the stingiest defense. I mean, they give up almost 26 points per game.
Hecking, looking to throw, takes off on his feet, and he dives for the first down, and he has enough for the kid's got a mullet. He's going to be tough and hard-nosed, baby.
Yeah, I like Hecking. He's just a tough, gritty player, likes to get his nose in there, physical guy, and a big guy, too. Headed to the University of Utah, so another guy going to the Pac-12.
And his older brother playing in D1 right now, Brock Hecking, former Vacaville star. DeMonte Moore gets it right side, spin move, and might get a face mask right here. And it looked like he got dragged down by the face mask. The flag came out right after, so this will probably be a 15-yard personal foul face mask.
I think you're right, partner, and here you're going to see the official mark off the penalty.
So that'll give Vacaville a first down, and just shy of midfield at the 47. So nice to see 3 teams from the Solano area and Napa, of course, in the D2 playoffs. Of course, Vintage, the 15th seed, playing a juggernaut in Oak Grove.
You got 4 teams from the Mel in the playoffs.
Napa, of course, in D1 as the first quarter comes to an end. And that gives us a sec. So let's go ahead and look at the Division I bracket. Folsom, this team they're juggernaut. You do not want to mess with Jake Browning and the Folsom Bulldogs. He's already shattered just about every California passing record in his career. He's heading to UW next season.
And he's followed some great quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, you did a game with American River.
Trying to think of the name of the quarterback. I know you are too. And then also before him, Graves was the quarterback.
Yeah, Dano Graves.
Dano Graves.
And looking at the 8-9 matchup, you got Modesto and Franklin. And a game I got circled, though, is Granite Bay. And not because they're playing Chavez, but Granite Bay is a team I think could make a nice run in the D1 playoffs. And Vacaville actually beat Granite Bay earlier this year, 13-6. Early in the season, though, I believe it was the second week of the year, or second week of the season.
Third week of the season. They started off, they had that tough loss to Oak Ridge, 24-23. Vacaville with only 2 losses. That was one of them. And they actually lost that one by going 4-2, I believe, at the end of the game instead of kicking the extra point, tying the game, going to OT.
So we are set for the second quarter. 1st and 10. Cassius Reynolds gets it on the sweep, past midfield, and has the first down. Finally steps out of bounds right around the 39. So Vacaville, they just got a 3-headed monster tackle with the rushing attack of Reynolds, Moore, along with Kane Cunningham.
And that's the advantage that you have when you play for Vacaville. You just have a lot more bodies. I mean, you look at the roster. We got 2 pages for Vacaville, 1 page for the Honkers. Honkers, half the kids going both ways.
Moore gets it, trying to get it to the outside. And he skips out of bounds, has enough for the first down. So back-to-back carries here to start off the second quarter. Back-to-back first downs for the Bulldogs.
And I thought Gavin Stranix, the defensive end on the near side, did a good job keeping containment. But DeMonte Moore able to get by the pursuit and pick up a nice gain for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs in business now inside the 30-yard line of the Honkers.
So 1st and 10. Hecking, play action. Throws this one in the flat. Kane Cunningham has it. And he finally gets tripped up after another first down for the Bulldogs, just outside of the 10, actually right at the 10-yard line. So a 1st and goal situation for Vacaville.
And that was a great play by Hecking. He was just watching the outside linebacker. I think that was Seaman, and just seeing if he was going to commit to the running back or come in. He started to come in on Hecking. Hecking dumps it off. Nice decision by the senior quarterback.
So you see the tight end, Zach Myers, in motion to the right side. Cunningham gets it. Actually, they give it to Cassius Reynolds, who flips into the end zone. The flip for 6 puts the Bulldogs on board first.
He gets 6 for the TD and 10 for the flip into the end zone. Oh, my. What an outstanding play by Cassius Reynolds.
There is a flag on the play, so we'll have to wait and see what the penalty is.
This is like watching that USC game against Cal last night. SC seemed like every time they scored, it was getting called back.
Get a look at the replay. Boom!
Oh!
The flip into the end zone. Hey, Cassius Reynolds, don't worry, buddy. I'm going to get you on Max Preps here on Monday and get an MP top play right there from my boy, Cassius Reynolds.
I got to take away the 10, though. He didn't stick the landing. Got to stick the landing, right, to get a 10, but that still was pretty remarkable.
So still waiting to see exactly what the penalty is.
And Vacaville, they give DeMonte Moore a little rest. You bring in Cassius Reynolds, and he's just as fast, if not faster.
So it was after the touchdown, so the touchdown counts. So the 15-yard penalty, either it's going to be tacked on here for the extra point, or they're going to push him back 15 yards on the kickoff. So Cassius Reynolds, a couple nice runs on that drive, and that's the thing with Coach Pop. He has a lot of different guys he can go to. You got Kane Cunningham and DeMonte Moore, the 2 first-team Mel selections. Cassius is like, hey, where's my first-team Mel selection?
Well, he's going to get one. He's just a sophomore. He's got 2 more years, and this kid's going to be special. A long line of great running backs here for Vacaville. I mean, they have great kids every.
Who's the best out of the ones since 2007 that we've kind of covered?
Gosh, boy, Quincy Forte
He's killing it up at Eastern
Washington.
Washington.
He was special.
I believe it was a couple weeks ago. He rushed for over 200 yards. They lost the game. Eastern Washington, one of the best D2 or FCS teams in the country.
Yeah, he's the one guy that's really made it at the next level.
Terrence Daly was a guy that had a chance. Went up to UW, but things just did not work out for Daly. And extra point is up and good. 7-0 Vacaville here at the 11:20 mark. And another guy that was a stud, Melvin Mason.
I was just thinking of Melvin Mason,
and
too.
you get a look at the replay right there again. Cassius Reynolds, 10-yard touchdown run and big-time flip 4-6 for Mr. Reynolds.
And if you put the Mewborn twins together.
If you just combine them.
Yeah, that's a pretty, well, even, you take David or Daniel.
Yeah.
Both of those kids really, really special last year.
Another guy that's kind of a sleeper that I always liked was Curtis Goins.
Yes.
And back in the 2011 Sac Joaquin, when they won it all, they had 3 rushers rush for over 100 yards. Curtis Goins, Melvin Mason. Can you give me the third? Terrence Trueblood.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And they were all on that championship team that beat Folsom.
They all ran for over 100 yards in that game. And back in 2006, those were the Terrence Daly days. That kid just beasted through the Sac Joaquin section playoffs in 2006. So 2 Sac Joaquin section titles under Coach Pop here at Vacaville. They're hoping for a third. They're up to a nice start here, up 7-0. And Yuba City fields this one at their own 25. He's got a seam. And in Vacaville territory and finally taken down at the 40-yard line. Nice return right there for the Honkers.
I think that was Blake Rose. It's hard to see these numbers when they get so bunched up, but I'm going off what the PA announcer said.
I'm so blind, I'm like, wait, who's 0?
And Yuba City, they need to answer back. They really need to get something going, and they've been pretty successful moving the ball against Vacaville.
Oh, they did a good job setting the tone on that kickoff return. 1st and 10 at the Vacaville 40. They trying to get it to Horn on a little slant route, but this one falls incomplete. Nice coverage on the play. Cassius Reynolds, of course, does it both ways for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I want to see this John Horn get the ball in space. Not very big, only 150 pounds, but he's got 33 catches on the season, 860 yards, and as you said before, he's scored 10 TDs.
And you know this kid's a playmaker if he's averaging 26 yards per reception. I might call him Joe Horn later on tonight. We'll see, but 3-step drop back. This time they get the completion for a gain of 5.
And he picked the right team to play for, right? Joe Horn playing for the Honkers.
I was waiting for one of the – I'm surprised you didn't get any of those out in the first quarter, to be honest.
I'm saving them up. I was hoping I'd see maybe a steering wheel on the side of their helmets.
Every time they score, get a
Either
little...
that or a goose, right?
So 3rd and 5, back to football. You know, things get a little carried away up here sometimes in the broadcast booth, right?
I want to know what that process was they went through to, let's pick a name for our team.
You know, I like it, though. It's unique. It seems like in high school, you got probably 100 teams
Yeah,
in
it's
California,
unique because no one
Wildcats.
else uses it.
I like it, though. You don't got, how many Bulldogs do you think there are in the country? It's got to be in like the 500, 600 range.
Thank God there's more than honkers.
So timeout on the play. Called by the road squad, Yuba City, and this team's done very well since John Itherburn became their head coach back in 2007. They made the playoffs in 6 of those 8 seasons.
25-9 last 3 years coaching at Yuba City. Coach Itherburn coaching it up there with the Honkers.
And in his first year in 2007, they lost to Benicia in the first round. 2 years later, they ran into Vanden and Dayon Buchanan. 2010.
I think we did that game. That was the first round of the playoffs.
It was.
They did. We did that game.
We did.
They beat Yuba City, and then the next week, I believe, is when they lost to Oakdale. When Dayon Buchanan got hurt. I think it was like in the first couple minutes of the game, and Oakdale ran all over that tough Vanden defense.
So we're set, 3rd down. Seaman gets it, and he's going to be about a yard shy of the first down, so you'll see them go for it here, 4th and 1 at the Vacaville 31-yard line.
Oh, I like this Seaman. He runs hard. I mean, he keeps his legs moving, and when he gets the ball, you see that pile moving forward.
And so far, Yuba City's offensive line has done a pretty good job at the line of scrimmage. Doing a good job in the battle of the trenches. 4th and 1. Seaman has enough for the first down.
Yeah, he just hits that hole, puts his head down, and gets those legs moving and keeps moving forward. And this is a tough front unit, too, for Vacaville.
Oh, I hear a little cowbell. Yuba City brought their cowbells with them here tonight. Every time I think of that, I think of Saturday Night Live, the Will Ferrell skit with Christopher Walken.
Going to give us a little rendition there?
I'm not good on impersonations.
That's why I wanted you to do one.
I almost did, but then I was like, you know what, don't do it, dude. 1st and 10, look to throw.
Oh, nice play.
Stevens, I thought maybe we might see a flag, but no penalty on the play. Good coverage there, Dulon Stevens. And Dulon Stevens was a first-team All-Member as a wide receiver. Actually, my mistake. Why am I thinking of Roger Douglas? They both wear one, and they're both big, but Dulon Stevens was a second-team All-Mel player.
And he's just got a great body for a safety. Tall, lanky. We saw it on that play, that long arm getting out to bat that ball away.
So 2nd and 10. Seaman bounced it to the right side and nowhere to go as Jonathan Burke, the safety, comes up and finishes off the tackle.
Seaman still running hard, though. Took 4 Bulldogs to get him down, led by Lamau and Reed Ramirez, the outside linebacker.
It's nice to have the playoffs here in the state of California. And you look at California, you look at Texas, and you look at Florida, all starting the playoffs here this weekend, the 3 powerhouse states in high school football. And, of course, for a full breakdown of the toughest conferences in the country, just go to maxpreps.com.
Cassius getting antsy there.
3rd and 7. This time the QB keeps it, and he's pushing the pile forward, so another 4th and manageable upcoming.
Boy, even Shalowitz, when he gets the ball, runs hard. These kids tough from Yuba City. I kind of like the unis, too, reminding me of Cal State Long Beach, the 49ers.
Oh, I thought you were going to go back to your playing days. I was about to say, wait, you can remember that far back?
I do, Milliken Rams. We were gold and blue.
And 0-10.
No. We actually won the Moore League my sophomore year.
Wow, the Moore League.
Hey, Long Beach Poly, baby.
Long Beach Poly runs through the Moore League every single season, and they did again this year.
Lakewood High, not too shabby.
So I think we're going to get a timeout for Vacaville here. So both teams have burned 1 TO here in the first half. We're at the 8:16 mark here in the second quarter. You're checking out the Solano College Sports Network broadcast here of the opening round game in the Sac Joaquin Section Division II playoffs. I'm Zach Poff here with Greg Poff. You know, it's time for a little trivia.
I'm ready.
Let's see if you.
I am ready.
If you can get the trivia question here tonight. So, what current NBA head coach was inducted into the Sac Joaquin Section Hall of Fame back in August? You want a clue, or are you just going to go for it?
Say that again?
You want a clue?
No, just give me the question again.
What current NBA head coach inducted into the Sac Joaquin Section Hall of Fame in August?
And where did he go to high school?
East Union.
I'm going to say Scotty Brooks.
Boom. Nailed
OKC,
it.
baby.
Got it. Scotty
I knew
B.
he was from Northern California.
He also played at Delta for a couple of years, community college ball. And Scotty Brooks, I mean, he's in a tough spot right now with no KD or Russ, but he's been one of the best coaches here in the Western Conference. Probably the second best coach or third. I mean, I forgot Doc's over here in the West now. So 4th and 3. Vacaville stuffs it, and Vacaville's going to get the ball back at their own 30-yard line.
Big stop by the Bulldogs there. Front line, big number 56 right there. Christian Carmichael, Jeremiah Lamau. Nice stand there by the Bulldogs. And Yuba City, they've got to be getting a little frustrated. They've actually moved the ball against this Bulldog defense, just nothing to show for it yet, only down by a touchdown. Pretty tough, hard-nosed game so far. Nothing fancy about this matchup.
Yeah, and we knew that coming in. This is going to be a ball control type of game. Both teams love to run the ball. Get a look at Hecking there under center. Walker in motion, gets it on the sweep. And good outside containment, but missed tackle. A gain of about 5 on the carry.
Good job there by the Honker defense. Gave up a little, but the pursuit was there in time to prevent that from being a much bigger gain.
Yeah, Yuba City's done a good job with the outside containment.
Looked like our cameraman was drinking there.
That's got to be Joe,
Little
right?
Wolfschlager.
2nd and 6. Walker again. Picks up 4. It'll bring up 3rd and 2.
So not much passing so far in this game. Hecking, I think, has thrown it 3 times. Shalowitz 1 time to Horn.
And Hecking on the year, only 961 yards passing, only 99 attempts in 9 games. Didn't play that in the game against, I believe it was Vintage. Kane Cunningham has a first down and more. And he's finally taken out of bounds by Mikey Pasalia.
Big gain there by Cunningham. So with Vacaville, if they can get it to the outside and get around the edge, they have had really good success against this Yuba City defensive squad.
So 1st and 10 at their own 46. We're at the 7.5-minute mark here at Thompson Stadium. Hecking fakes it outside. Reynolds has it outside. Nice little leap. Puts a shoulder down and picks up 18 on the carry.
Cassius Reynolds now going from gymnastics to track. Looked like a hurdler there, sprinting down the far side of the field, leaping over one of the honkers. Big gain, first down for Vacaville.
Yeah, Cassius Reynolds has been the best player on the field here tonight in the first quarter and a half. Devontae Moore gets it this time, and he picks up a couple.
On that last play to Cassius Reynolds, they go outside. This time they fake it to Cunningham up the middle, and DeMonte Moore crossing from the left side over to the right. So they just keep coming at you from all different angles, and it's really tough as a defensive unit to stay on balance, to keep on track. You just never know where the ball's coming.
Yeah, that's what Coach Pop does very well. He keeps defenses off balance. 2nd and 7. Reynolds gets it again on the sweep. And might get a late hit right here as he gets pushed into the Vacaville bench. And a little extracurricular activity from Brandon Thong there. He gave a little shove to Reynolds.
And that's too bad if there is a flag on the play.
Would have been 3rd down.
Yeah, and that was a great defensive stop there. Good pursuit, able to get the ball carrier out of bounds before he had a chance to pick up the first. And so this is going to be a costly penalty if it does, in fact, go against the Honkers.
So late hit out of bounds. We'll tack on an extra 15 yards and a first down for the Bulldogs.
So personal foul, late hit against Brandon Thong, and it's going to cost his team dearly. Because Yuba City, especially the way they depend on the run, they certainly do not want to fall behind by 2 touchdowns in this game.
So Vacaville will get this one inside the red zone.
On the other hand, Vacaville, they want to get this in the end zone, obviously, but then that gives them the opportunity to maybe force the Honkers to start putting the ball up in the air a little bit more, and then they can cut their guys loose rushing the quarterback.
Play action. Hecking throws this one. He's got his man, and Cassius Reynolds has himself 2nd touchdown of the night. 13-0 Vacaville.
Yeah, it looked like the defensive back, number 32, Jonathan Rodriguez, gambled on that, went for the deflection or trying to go for the pick, got there just a little bit late, and once Reynolds gets his hands on the ball, nobody in front of him, no one's catching him in the end zone for the second score.
Nice throw on the run by Hecking. Easy for Cash as he cashes in the touchdown.
And there you could just see Rodriguez's hand come in and just barely miss the pass there.
And, of course, the winner of this game has a date with the winner of Del Oro and Roseville next weekend. I know Vacaville's hoping for a Roseville upset. Of course, long way to go here. It's only 13. Maybe we'll go ahead and make it 14-0 now. And Del Oro, they finished 5-5 this year. But Del Oro had just a tough non-conference schedule. And Del Oro, a team that has played in big games here the last few years. Del Oro, one of the best teams in the Sac Joaquin sections. You can't let that 5-5 record fool you for Del Oro. And, of course, Del Oro, they represented the Division I last year in the CIF State Bowl game. They lost to Bakersfield 56-26, though, but they did win the D1 NorCal CIF Championship last season. And Del Oro, a team that's very familiar with going down to Southern California to represent Northern California. They did in 2011 when they lost to Reggie Bush's alma mater, Helix High out in San Diego.
Helix High and
Alex Smith.
And what great Hall of Fame basketball player went there? Former UCLA Bruin. Big Red, baby.
Oh, Bill Walton.
Helix High School also from that school in San Diego.
So kick is what fair catch called at the 29-yard line, we'll call it. Fair catch made by 2-8. Yeah, I did the same thing. Look down and see, where's 28?
Yeah, not there.
I wouldn't just call it by the number. Well, I would if it's like a long Polynesian Samoan name. I figure it's better, you can't butcher a number. So 6:33 here, second quarter. Vacaville up, 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 receiving for Cassius Reynolds.
We'll see if Coach Ithaburn has the quarterback put it up in the air. Nope.
Still the second quarter, still early. Stick to the game plan, run the ball, move the chains.
That's true, and they've been doing that pretty successfully.
So under 6.5 to go now here, second quarter. Once again, you're checking out the Solano College Sports Network. I'm Zach Poff here with Greg Poff here at Tom Zannino Stadium, home of the Vacaville Bulldogs, who get to host this opening round matchup against Yuba City. Vacaville 8-2 on the season. Yuba City 5-5. Play action. This one aired out, and it is dropped in Vacaville territory, and you will not see that too often. John Horn cannot come up with the catch, and it was a nice throw from the sophomore QB, Brendan Shalowitz.
Boy, and they set that up perfectly. Horn wide. Oh, it's oftentimes when you're so wide open, there's even more pressure
Sometimes
to
those
make
are the hardest
that catch.
catches to make.
Absolutely.
Let's get a look at Ramon Gonzalez, who's made a couple of nice tackles so far in the first half.
Yeah, Gonzalez has come in and played really, really well for the Bulldogs.
3rd and 7. This one incomplete. No flag on the play as Amari Johnson, probably the best cornerback in the Monticello Empire League.
And that time, Shalowitz going to his other receiver, Blake Rose, but just great coverage by the defensive back Johnson there.
Second best cornerback in the Mel. The best corners out in Napa. The Mel Player of the Year, Kill Brown. Napa just dominated the player awards. Vacaville and Wood dominated the first team selections. As Yuba City gets off a line drive punt and goes out of bounds right around the 43-yard line. Now looking at the all-Mel players, Kill Brown, the player of the year. Austin Aaron, a Cal commit.
Great receiver.
Obviously the receiver of the year. And Bernard Venter was the lineman of the year. So Napa unanimous in those 3 selections. Vacaville had 10 first-team selections. And Wilsie Wood had 7. And I was surprised not to see Damon Lewis still, even though he only missed 3 games. But I thought he did enough work throughout the season to be at least a first-team selection. Jermaine Lewis got the nod, though, and he had a really good job. He did a really good job filling in.
Yeah,
for
he came in well,
Damon
filled
Lewis.
in well for Damon Lewis.
So Hecky, a little slow getting on the field. Kane Cunningham gets it and nowhere to go. He is hit immediately at the line of scrimmage. Nice play by Bryant Seaman.
Outside linebacker, Seaman doing it both ways on offense and defense.
As Kane Cunningham trots off the field. You'll see Wyatt Faulkner come in to replace Kane Cunningham, and Wyatt Faulkner, a stud linebacker for the Bulldogs, also gets in at fullback here for Coach Pop.
Yeah, outstanding 2-year starter at the outside linebacker position, and now getting a chance to get in offensively.
Reynolds gets it on the sweep. Nowhere to go. Nice tackle by Zach King. Flag in the backfield. And I believe it's on Vacaville, so we'll see if Yuba City maybe declines this and forces a 3rd and 9, or if they like a 2nd and 19 better.
Yeah, and I'm not sure the penalty. I saw the ref gesture with his hand almost like it was illegal motion, but I'm not sure if that was the gesture for the penalty or if he was just indicating the penalty was against Vacaville. So there you see the officials talking it over. And while we have a break in the action, I got your trivia question here, youngster.
Gosh. Oh, gosh.
Now, you know, we started doing football broadcast back in 2007 when we first started doing games for Solano Community College, also doing lots of high school games. How many broadcasts, football broadcasts only, have we done since 2007?
Give me a sec to think about it as this 15-yard penalty is accepted.
Go ahead, use your fingers. That's good.
Is it triple digits?
No.
All right, give me 63.
Wow, this is our 61st broadcast, if you count the semi-pro game we did for the Gladiators.
Okay, so 60.
Yeah.
Sorry, Woody. So after the 15-yard penalty, second at a mile for Vacaville. And a lot of good run for Kane Cunningham as he is finally tripped up right around the 47-yard line. And maybe a touchdown-saving tackle right there from Mr. Horn.
And Cunningham, once he gets through the defensive line and gets some space.
He tricked our cameraman.
Yeah, he's just like he's shot out of a gun. Boom! Gets downfield in a hurry. And as you said, excellent tackle by one of the honkers, or that could have been 6.
Yeah, I believe it was John Horde that made the tackle there. So 3rd and 6. Cunningham again breaks one tackle, has the first down, and finally taken down at the honker 35-yard line. Kane Cunningham, man, this kid runs angry.
Boy, another good tackle, too, by John Horn. So we'll see if we've got a replay of that run. And, boy, if we do, notice the cut by Cunningham. He was heading to the outside, planted his foot, cut upfield, and when he makes that cut, he gets upfield in a hurry.
Yeah, Kane Cunningham and Cassius Reynolds both having good first half here. DeMonte Moore really hasn't had to do much here in the first half. Moore gets it, sweep, turns on the Jets. First down, and finally taken down inside the 20-yard line, right around the 17. So DeMonte Moore with a nice run. And this kid, I mean, he's just shifty. Can turn on the Jets like that.
Almost ran over that lady with the Chico sweatshirt on. Mikey Pasalia coming over to finally get the running back out of bounds.
Wow, I wonder what a person with a Chico sweater is not out partying here on a Friday night. I guess that's later.
Still early.
1st and 10, Bulldogs. Hecking keeps it himself. Fooled the defense, and he is going to take it in for the touchdown. Chad Hecking calls his own number. TD Vacaville.
Boy, and they just set that up perfectly. Fake to the running back, kept going wide, able to get around the edge.
You were so shocked you wanted to call the play. So 2 touchdowns for Cassius Reynolds, and you get a look right here as Hecking just fooled the defense. DeMonte Moore, good block on the outside, sprung Hecking. He takes it in for the touchdown run.
Yeah, the defense just bit on the fake to Cunningham. They're so used to him coming up the middle. Here I think we're getting a little extra slow-mo there.
Chad Hecking now with his 5th rushing touchdown on the season. Extra point through, 21-0 Bulldogs. And the story of this game has really been at the line of scrimmage for Vacaville. The offensive line doing a great job, and they are just gashing Yuba City here now in the second quarter.
And we've seen that so often this year with Vacaville.
You see Hecking, look at that speed from Mr. Hecking. Hey, Utah, you need another running back? I got you.
They'll like that mullet in Utah.
Yeah, he'll fit right in.
Yeah. But Vacaville, as we were saying, just up front, they're going to wear you down. They just keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. And as we talked at the start of the broadcast, a lot of these kids playing both ways for the Honkers. It's just tough to hang.
Yeah, we were talking about that before the broadcast. Like, it's something that might factor in as this game gets going is just the durability and the endurance for both teams. Vacaville's got a lot of guys that are subbing in and out. And you look at Yuba City, really their offense was really 2 guys, Horn along with Seaman.
First quarter, they were hanging in there, but now starting to give way to the Bulldogs. Let's see if they can answer back.
So they kick it deep. And gets past the 30 and taken down right around the 31, as that was Blake Rose returning the kickoff.
So we've got about 4 minutes left here in the first half. I think it is imperative for Yuba City to get a drive going and at least get some points on the board so they can go in at halftime at least feeling good about themselves, doing something productive offensively.
Yeah, if they can get a touchdown drive right here, that'd be huge. They do get the rock to start the second half, too.
And they had a chance in that last drive if Horn makes that catch.
They throw this one, and this one incomplete, intended for Rose. As Shalowitz just a little out in front of his receiver.
And it looked like that time they stacked both wideouts on the far side of the field. So giving Vacaville a little different look with the formation, trying to get something going offensively. And there you see a look of Blake Rose, the intended receiver on the last play. Shalowitz coming in. And let's see what Coach Ithaburn has dialed up for the Honkers here on 2nd and 10.
Shalowitz under center. He keeps it himself and nowhere to go as Michael Walker there to finish up the tackle.
Boy, he's done an outstanding job this year for Vacaville as the middle linebacker. He and his twin brother, Malik, number 85, at the defensive end position, and both those players have really been successful this year on the defensive side of the ball.
Third and 6. And this one is caught for the first down and more. Rose trying to get outside, and he is finally taken down in Vacaville territory at the 42-yard line.
And we were just talking about Malik Walker, the big defensive end. What great pursuit, because Rose looked like he was going to have some space as he was cutting through the middle of the field trying to make it to the far side, but he gets tracked down by the defensive end. Great pursuit by the Bulldog. So Malik and his brother doing an excellent job defensively.
Yeah, Malik and Michael, both stud defensive players, and also Michael Walker, a stud player on offense. That one goes for a couple yards.
That time they went back to their bunch formation, just running the ball straight ahead.
All right, partner, so I just checked the Elk Grove vintage score. What's your guess?
Is it halftime yet?
Yeah.
I'm going to say 35-3.
You're being nice, 47-0.
Yeah. I knew Vintage was going to have their hands full.
Elk Grove, really one of the best teams, too, in the Sac Joaquin area. Quarterback keeps it himself. Nice run there by the stud sophomore, Brendan Shalowitz.
And nice tackle by number 9, DeAndre Lewis. Good shoestring tackle there. So Yuba City, they're in Bulldog territory. Nice little drive going. Still 2 minutes left in the half. Ideally, they would just like to run the clock out, get into the end zone, and score a TD at the end of the first half, go into the locker room down 21-7.
You see Shalowitz come over to the sideline, get the play from the head coach. Big third down right here for Yuba City, 3rd and 2. Under 2 minutes to go here now in the second quarter. They give it to the fullback, and Taylor Wolfschlager picks up the first.
Yeah, Wolfschlager, first guy through there, got a seam, able to get upfield and pick up a much-needed first down. Honkers able to retain possession, keep this drive going.
So now at the Vacaville 28-yard line, and crucial for Yuba City not to get a field goal. They need a touchdown on this drive and get a little bit of momentum going into halftime.
And they have 2 timeouts remaining.
Seaman has a seam, and Jonathan Burke finally trips him up, but that'll bring up 2nd and 2.
And I think going to the pass play early in this drive kind of opened up the Vacaville defense just a little bit. And now Seaman and the other running back are finding some seams in that defense. Even the quarterback Shalowitz able to get upfield and pick up some yardage on the ground.
And Yuba City burns their second timeout here in the first half at the 1:29 mark. And we talked about that right off the start. Yuba City needs to find a way to have a balanced attack. And we're seeing it on this drive. They've been able to throw the ball a little bit, and it's opened up seams, as you mentioned, partner, for their running backs, along with their quarterback, who's done a pretty good job on the feet.
Yeah, excellent job managing the defense, and they're a team that likes to be fairly balanced. Although they come in, they're averaging over 200 yards rushing per game, averaging 6 yards a carry. On the other hand, just 117 passing. So they like to get that run game going and then just take the passes when they can get the ball out to Horn and to Rose.
So 2nd and 2. Wolfschlager, actually Rose gets it. And he has the first down as he's finally taken out of bounds by a gang of Vacaville tacklers right at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, that time they just had Rose lined up in the slot position on the near side of the field, ran behind Shalowitz, pitched it to him. He had a full head of steam, able to get around the edge and pick up the first down.
It's steaming time now. You got to get the ball to your stud running back here, and going to get a false start as Rose looked a little confusion along with the fullback there.
And certainly don't want a penalty there. They have really been playing pretty disciplined football thus far, but a mistake there, it's going to back them up 5 yards, and they just want to keep running that ball straight ahead. Anytime they get backed up, going to make it a little tougher for them, especially now where they need desperately to get into the end zone, get some points on the board.
So now 1st and 15 for Yuba City. Ball right at the 20. And let's see if they go to maybe the air here on 1st and 15. And they give it up the middle to the big fullback, Wolschlager. Gets inside the 15-yard line, so right around the 14.
And he runs hard, and he's a big dude, 6'1", 230 pounds. So down under a minute remaining.
So we've talked a lot about the Yuba City head coach. Now, what is just Mike Papadopoulos has done such a great job with this Vacaville program. 2 section titles under his name. What impresses you most about Coach Popto?
His system. And I think that's really what it takes to be successful on the high school level. You need a coach with a system that works, and what Papadopoulos does so well, and it's really easier to do in a community like Vacaville, close-knit community. You've got kids playing Pop Warner, 9, 10 years old, but they're learning the same system they're going to learn in high school. In fact, talking to Joe Angier, he was even saying that some of the flag football teams run a lot of the same plays in junior high school that are run here at Vacaville. So Papadopoulos has done an excellent job getting a system in place, getting all of his players to buy into it. And the nice thing about having that system, you could have played 10 years ago. You come here, everything's still the same. And I think that's so important, especially on the high school level. You get an established system that's successful, and that's what the Honkers are trying to do under Ithaburn.
After they burn their final timeout, they're throwing the fade, corner of the end zone.
Oh!
Outstanding play right there from the all-male corner. Amari Johnson able to knock that one away. I believe that was intended for Blake Rose.
Boy, he was just outstanding. And Rose had a step on him, but excellent recovery there by the DB,
Hey, you
Johnson.
know how corners love to do a little baiting action. It's like, come on, I want the ball thrown my way. I'm just going to take a little slow step here and turn it on, and just great awareness right there by the stud corner,
There
Amari
you see
Johnson.
Good look at him there, number 31. What he did so well, too, is he actually turned his head around just in time to see the ball coming, enough time to make a play on the ball, save the touchdown.
3rd and 9. Throws this one incomplete at the feet of his intended target, so Shalowitz could not get the throw across his body there, trying to get it to his main man, John Horn. So 4th and 9.
So they could still get a first down without getting into the end zone. But down to 44 seconds, 4th down.
And they do have a kicker that's only attempted 1 field goal this year. So
yeah, they're not too much on the special teams
Carson
when it comes to
Kanata. And only 26 out of 35 in extra points. So going for it here. Shalowitz rolling out. He's got his man. Corner of the end zone. Outstanding play made again. Amari Johnson. And right there, though, if you're Shalowitz, you got to get it to the back of the end zone.
A little more air.
Johnson to play, and hopefully we'll get a replay queued up right here, and you'll see Amari Johnson with 2 great plays, but this one especially on 4th down, able to get his hands on it just barely.
And you said it at the start of the broadcast, Johnson, one of the best defensive backs. And here we have the replay, and what a play by Johnson.
And you know what? Shalowitz did have some air on that one, too. Amari Johnson able to, he must be wearing his PF Flyers. He got pretty high right there and able to get a mitten on the rock there.
And he was beaten again, just able to get back, get a hand on the ball. 2 big plays in a row by Johnson.
So Vacaville electing not to take a knee. They'll just run it to Cunningham up the middle. And we'll see if Pop's happy to go with a 21-0 lead at halftime. So we're under 30 seconds to go. And Vacaville could be the last play they run here. See if They're going to go ahead and run one more, see if they can break something. Hecking looking to throw. And this one is incomplete, trying to get it to Reed Ramirez.
Well, he caught the ball, but then he kind of looked down to secure it. I think he was startled by those lime green shoes when, oh, my God, and dropped the ball. Boy, those are bright.
Even you can see them.
I know. That's what I'm telling you.
Luke Anderchek, too, rocks those green sneaks. So 3rd and 6. See Vacaville probably running here, just get into half. Don't want to have to throw the ball maybe incompletion and force yourself to punt. Walker gets it on the sweep, and he has the first down, and he's going down the sideline, and he stepped out of bounds.
You know,
around the 45-yard line.
He's not that fast, but he's got those long legs and those big strides. He was just eating up yardage as he was heading down the sideline. Number 3, middle linebacker going, I can run the ball too, and we've seen that all year.
Hey, it got our guy Kareem excited. He was thinking he had a chance to turn it on. Of course, he'll be hearing Kareem here in the second half.
He can't wait to get in the broadcast booth.
Chomping at the bit, baby. So 7 seconds left.
And here at Solano College Sports Network, we're all about giving students the opportunity to get involved in sports broadcasting. If you're looking for a career in sports broadcasting, come check us out at Solano Community College. We meet every Wednesday at 1 o'clock in the TV studio.
Let's check out this replay and see Walker turn on the Jets there down the sideline.
You wouldn't have a replay without the program.
There you go.
But still a nice run.
To be honest, I think Money Mike was agreeing with me. I didn't think I was going to get a chance to even check out that replay there, but sometimes you just got to cut off.
I told you got to hit me in the ribs.
You can't be doing that. I don't want to abuse the
elderly abuse.
So 1st and 10, Bulldogs at their own 43, and we've got our own vendor here at Vacaville. That's how we roll, baby. He's trying to get us to buy some Cracker Jacks for $1. Sorry, bro.
And that's Brian Nelson, who's on our board. That's his old debate partner.
So I'm guessing you guys lost a lot of rounds.
I always thought his name was Ryan. It's not. He's called Ryan and Brian.
You just nod.
What's his name, Brian? Dylan, that's right.
You weren't even close. 3 seconds left.
But it rhymed with Brian.
Moore gets it. Got to take it to the end zone if they want to score here. He gets tripped up, and that is the final play here in the first half. And, partner, real quick, what does Yuba City need to do for halftime adjustments, getting ready for the final 24 minutes?
Go get some more players, because that's really the only way they're going to have an opportunity to get into this game. I think they just have to stick with what they're doing, though. Keep that running game going. Take your chances with the pass play, but it's going to be tough because they only have a set number of players, and we saw with Vacaville, they keep bringing in fresh bodies. Going to be really, really tough. Well, partner, I'm going to get out of the booth. I had to work hard to just get a half in. And so it's been great doing a game with you. Looks like this is well in Vacaville's hands, but it should be an exciting second half, and especially because we're bringing in 2 new broadcasters. Kareem and Marvell are going to be in the booth with Zach Poff. We're going to take a short break here. We'll be back for the second half.
And we are moments away from the second half beginning here, and I really feel like the GM of the year. I traded an old guy for 2 youngsters here coming in to join the broadcast booth, Kareem Walton along with Marvell Bluford. And we're going to start with Kareem first. Vacaville up 21-0. What was really the things that were working for the Bulldogs in the first 24 minutes?
Well, for the first half, what I seen was the Bulldogs got the running game going, and it wasn't a tough start as far as the last week what they had with Woolsey Wood. A slow start, but second quarter they picked it up, and Cassius Reynolds was able to get a receiving touchdown as well as a rushing touchdown, and Hecking ended that first half with a scoring keeper himself.
And Marvell, Yuba City did not score in the first half. What were some things you took away from the Honkers there in the first 24 minutes?
Well, besides the fact that they did struggle twice in the red zone, the standout players to me were quarterback Brendan Chalowich trying to make plays with his legs. And, this team's best receiver is John Horn, number 2.
And a little bit of a quiet first half for Horn.
Very quiet. And I think, to get more points up them, they might want to take more shots and give it to Horn.
And we'll see if Yuba City does that as they get the rock here to start the second half. And I think this is a big drive for Yuba City. They got to find a way to get a little momentum on their side because Vacaville really dominated. As you mentioned, Kareem, the second quarter, all 3 touchdowns came in the second quarter for the Bulldogs, and they're up 21-0. And a score that might surprise some people. Number 1, Grant right now, 14-7. So only a 7-point lead for the number 1 team in the Sac Joaquin Section D2 playoffs. And we are set for the second half as this kick's going to get all the way to the end zone. And it's still probably too early for Yuba City to abandon the running game, right?
No doubt. They have to stick with it. And a lot in the first half, they was able to move the ball without any type of issues, but they shot themselves in the foot a couple times. So let's see what they do this second half.
And Bryant Seaman, the running back, this kid's been one of the best running backs in the Sac Joaquin section. So let's see if they can get him going here in this opening possession here in the second half. And as he touched on, Marvell, been pretty impressed with Brendan Chalowich, not just with the arm, but he's been able to move around in the pocket a little bit and also pick up some yards on the ground. And you see Yuba City change up their offense. They're going more of that spread attack shotgun as Chalowich rolling out to his right, throws this one, and it is caught. And I believe that was Horn for the first down.
Yeah, Horn for the first down, and a nice play by Ramon Gonzalez for the Vacaville Bulldogs. And you're going to have to open it up for Yuba City. They're going to have to try to get that ball on Horn. As you alluded to earlier with Greg, he has 10 touchdown receptions and a whopping 26.8 catch average. So let's see what they can do to get him to peel a little bit more this half.
And Yuba City, in the whole first half, they're really coming in that tight package. Everyone bunched up at around the offensive lineman. Horn off his fingertips and nearly intercepted by Dulon Stevens as Chalowich put a little too much on that pass.
Yeah, we got Dulon Stevens back there with the defense, and with the deflection off of Horn, the time was a little bit off, but nice play. And going back to the first half, Amari Johnson made 2 spectacular defensive plays towards the end of that half to keep the score 21-0.
I'm also liking how this team is taking very good deep shots.
So 2nd and 10. This time they keep it on the ground, and I believe that was Seaman able to pick up a couple. So 3rd and 8 upcoming for Yuba City.
And I think this half, Yuba City is going to have to show a sense of urgency. You don't want to go into the fourth quarter without getting on the board. So it's going to be something that we're going to have to look out for, see if they can move the ball and not shoot themselves in the foot as they did in that first half.
One way of doing that is by not getting on 3rd down and long. They need to do a better job maybe opening up with a little play actions more. Perhaps.
Yeah, important to, especially a run-first type of team. You want that 3rd and less than 5. Right now they have a 3rd and 8. And we're going to get a flag on the play. Delay of game, I believe, on Yuba City. So 3rd and 8 now, 3rd and 13. And not good for a team that likes to run the ball a lot.
Not at all. There's not a lot of plays in the playbook for 3rd and 13. And you're in a predictable down and distance where you're going to have to pass the ball. So let's see if the Bulldogs can get their defense off the field and see what they could do.
And see maybe Yuba City tries to get Horn the rock here on 3rd and 13, partner.
Definitely. And just as Mr. Walton was alluding to, they just shot themselves in the foot with the delay of game. You can't have that if you want to win a playoff game.
So 3rd and 13, 4 wide receiver set, shotgun. Chalowich rolling out, throws this one middle of the field, and this one is incomplete. And there is a late flag thrown on Jonathan Burke, the safety. Got there a little too early.
Definitely, and it seems that he was indecisive if he wanted to go for the ball or make the play on the player. So he did get there a little early. Nice call by the Zebras.
So that's going to be a 15-yard penalty on Vacaville.
One thing Yuba City is going to have to really look out for on the defense of the Vacaville Bulldogs is number 31, Amari Johnson. Just as my colleagues were saying, that first half, he was absolutely shutting down Yuba City offense. And it looks like he's trying to do the same thing this half.
And
so
Amari,
Yuba City definitely has to look out for number 31.
And Amari Johnson one of the top corners in the Monticello Empire League. Was a first-team All-Mel selection at the cornerback position. So shotgun, airing this one out, and this one incomplete, intended for Blake Rose and Shalowitz. Kind of more throwing that one away. Good coverage on the play for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and I see here where we have Seaman and Horn has a combined 30 of the 45 TDs for the Honeckers this year. So if those are your two playmakers, you have to get them the ball and see if they can get you back into this game. It's still early in the second half, and as you said, Zach, it's never too late.
And Marvell, you a little surprised here, Yuba going with a lot of passing here on this drive and not sticking with the running game?
I like the way they're going. It's showing that they do have a sense of urgency trying to get on the board. But it also, sometimes it doesn't hurt to stick with the run just a little bit.
This one completed.
It opens up much better plays.
To Horn for the first down. So a nice throw on the run there from Brendan Shalowitz, a sophomore sensation, hitting his senior target there, John Horn.
Yeah, and that's the first time tonight we were able to see Horn get in space, make a couple moves, and get a positive play for the Honeckers.
So it was a big pass interference on Vacaville on Jonathan Burke, kept this drive going. So Yuba City trying to cash in. They're in Vacaville territory at the 40-yard line. We're a couple minutes in here in the third quarter.
I wouldn't be surprised if they try and give it to Horn again.
Shotgun. Shalowitz airing this one out. And he's got his man, good call partners. He hits John Horn again for back-to-back first down completions.
And sometimes, football, just like the game of basketball, you get that first layup or that first free throw goes through.
You're feeling good.
You're feeling real good about yourself. So let's see if the Honkers can keep this drive going and get back into this football game.
So just outside of the red zone at the 22-yard line. And if they can get a touchdown here, we got a brand-new game.
Definitely. A three-score game right now, but even a field goal just to get off that snide. Let's see what they do here at 1st and 10.
Shotgun. Shalowitz keeps it, breaks a couple of tackles, puts his head down, and he is taken down right around the 15. So a nice pickup of about 7 yards on first down, bring up 2nd and 3.
Yeah, and Brandon Shalowitz kind of reminded me of Tebow there with a little 2 yards and a bunch of dust, just going with the head first and trying to get whatever he can out the play.
Speaking of Tebow, he lost his Florida State record for most touchdowns in a single season. Tucker Israel from Lake Nona has now thrown 51 touchdowns in one season for Lake Nona.
Wow.
Head into Clemson next year. So 2nd and 2. And Marvell, as you mentioned, they're keeping in those second and short situations. Shalowitz rolling out to his left. This one's complete. Rose has it. First down right at the 10.
And that was a nice stop by number 4, Reed Ramirez. He was able to contain number 6 on the outside. We have a flag on the play.
So Yuba City really opened up the passing game here.
Seeing as how they're closer to the red zone now, I look for them to maybe rush the ball 2 times and maybe open up with a play action sooner or later and try and catch the Bulldog defense off guard.
And we're going to get a late hit on Vacaville, so that'll move it inside the 5.
That's 2 big plays against the Vacaville defense. They're getting a little bit sloppy, and I look for the defensive coach to really address his men.
So now 1st and goal at the 5-yard line, and expect to see a lot of Bryant Seaman here in the goal situation.
And with John Horn being a little undersized, you wouldn't expect a fade here. So let's see if Seaman gets the ball.
Shalowitz keeps it himself, read option, and he is taken down right at the 1-yard line. Nice tackle there. Cassius Reynolds having himself a very good game, 2 touchdowns, and also a couple of nice defensive plays for Cassius Reynolds.
You have to love that about your quarterback, willing to just go through an entire defensive line and work your way to get that touchdown. He's showing a lot of heart tonight.
And as you alluded to, Zach, about Cassius Reynolds having a spectacular game on both sides of the football, we call that a throwback in my day.
Back in your day, baby. 2nd and goal at the 1. Shalowitz under center. Goal line package. Seaman leaps. Touchdown. Yuba City on the board at the 8:02 mark. And you hear the cowbells going off. Finally, they've been waiting for some more cowbell here on the Yuba side. And
just like that, we may have a game again.
Yeah, and a lot of cheering and support from this Yuba City.
Get a look at the replay right here. And Seaman able to just jump over the pile. We'll get a look at the replay after this extra point. Carson Kanata. Little mix going on, little replay, little extra point mix for you. Extra point is good, 21-7. Got DJ Bryan over there.
One thing I would look out for the Yuba City Honkers is a possible onside kick.
Yeah,
that's very intriguing, and if they can somehow get it, I mean, they got a little bit of momentum, but they're going to have a ton of momentum if they can find a way to get an onside kick right here.
And seeing as how it is the playoffs, I do look for this team to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and as I spoke about earlier about getting that first free throw from a basketball perspective, you have a shutdown inning from a pitcher's perspective when your team gives you a couple of runs, the pitcher comes out, get a 1-2-3.
I know your guy Mad Bum did that a lot in the postseason.
Definitely. And if Yuba City could get here a 3-and-out on this next defensive stand, they can get the ball right back and keep the momentum going.
And you got to look at the replay there again. Seaman going over the top and able to get it across the goal line. 4-6, 21-7. And a little high, short kick. Filled it at the 25 by the Bulldogs. Michael Walker's got a lot of room on the far side. And he's past midfield. And he's still going. He is going to take this one all the way back. Vacaville answers back on the kickoff return touchdown, Michael Walker.
And there's no flags on the play. And do you know that was the biggest play for the Bulldogs to come and get a return kickoff for a touchdown and spew all the momentum from the Yuba City Honkers. Wow.
And Marvell, you touched on it. They probably might have been better off trying the onside kick right there as Michael Walker, you knew once he got it to the far side, he had blockers and a lot of green in front. Turned on the Jets. Kick off return TD.
I was a little bit surprised by that kick to Michael Walker. He's such an explosive player. I would have kicked it to the other side.
At the end of the replay there, as he's showing off his wheels and acting like he's Usain Bolt, breaking the tape there as he crossed the goal line.
Long stride, 6'4", 200-pounder, and when he gets them legs going, man, he get it moving.
So Michael Walker is like, hey, Zach, I heard you talking about getting Cassius Reynolds an MP top play at Max Preps. Well, I think Michael Walker might have earned one right there with that kickoff return TD.
I think so.
Extra point up, good, 28-7. So any momentum that Yuba City had right there, Vacaville comes right back and takes Uncle Mo back on their side.
I would definitely equivalent that kickoff return to a punch in the gut for Yuba City.
And sometimes you just abuse that body. It's worse than getting hit in the jaw.
Yeah, and being down now 28-7, you would think that Yuba City would have to start to put it back in the air a little bit more.
And they had a lot of success on that last drive, able to find John Horn, and a couple of penalties also helped from Vacaville's defense. But just like that, Vacaville answers.
Definitely uncharacteristic of Vacaville's defense. They don't make a lot of penalties throughout the year, but we're going to see now after this kickoff if Yuba City can make any more moves to get back into this game.
And also, too, we got a couple of scores for you. The last score I saw, Burbank and Wood, the 7-10 matchup. They were tied 19-19, 4-minute mark in the third quarter. Grant up by a touchdown, 14-7. Del Oro up 7-0 against Roseville. And the winner of this game plays the winner of that contest. So line drive kick. Muffed at the 10, and it's still a loose ball. Horn finally picks it up at the 8. And he gets taken down at the 18-yard line.
Very sloppy handling on that ball on kickoff return for Yuba City. If they want to continue to stay in this game, they're going to have to clean up their act and really get on the ball.
Yeah, Blake Rose just had a tricky hop and couldn't field that one. And Horn able to back up his teammate and pick it up and get it to the 18, but not good field position to start for the Honkers here on their second drive of the second half.
Yeah, and the Honkers only averaged 117 yards passing over the years, so it's going to be hard to throw the ball in the air when you're not used to doing it.
So they come out shotgun again, down 3 touchdowns. Shalowitz rolling out to his right. He's got a man. And this one underthrown, almost intercepted by Dulon Stevens.
And there's that Vacaville defense once again showing pure dominance in the passing game.
And a great play by Blake Rose turning them over from offense to defense to break up that play, or it would have been an easy pick.
And Stevens had a lot of room to run, too, if he was able to get the INT there. And That's one nice thing with high school players. A lot of these guys play both ways, so saves a lot of time at DB, and he turned it into one there on the offensive side of the rock. So 2nd and 10, shotgun again for the Honkers. Shalowitz rolling out to his right, and he takes this one himself, and he gets hit right at the 25. Keeps those legs churning as 15 for Vacaville. Ramon Gonzalez finally brings him down.
And I think the head coach for Yuba City understands that even though they don't pass the ball a lot throughout the year, they're going to have to get it in the air. So we're going to see them probably pass the ball 2-to-1 ratio this second half.
And their head coach, John Ithelburn, has done a very good job with this program. They made the postseason in 6 of his 8 years coaching for Yuba City. Made it all the way to the D2 semis last year. This time they give it to Seaman for no gain. He's hit right at the line of scrimmage.
And at this point, with 7 minutes left in the third quarter, I agree that maybe Yuba City does need to abandon the run, because at this point, that's not going to help.
And Vacaville's defense has been very stingy, stuffing the running game too. And on that last drive, Yuba City finally went into shotgun and threw the ball a lot, and we saw them have a little bit of success. So now 4th and 3 for Yuba City.
As far as running the ball, if Yuba City is going to do that, it's going to have to be on the legs of their quarterback.
And this is the game. If they turn it over on downs here, it's going to be hard to get back.
Shalowitz, 4th and 3. Horn has it, and he is going to be taken, and no gain on the play. Turnover on downs. Trevor Stewart there to bring him down.
Yeah, and everybody out here in the crowd knew that ball was going on Horn, and it looked like they had him contained out there in the left hash, and he had nowhere to go. Pass was kind of a little bit behind Horn, so he had to adjust it, and by the time he was able to gather himself, the Bulldogs were all over him.
And I'm telling you guys, this Vacaville team has a very good chance to make a run in the D2 Sac Joaquin section playoffs. They have one of the biggest offensive lines they've ever had, and that allows them to open up the running game as DeMonte Moore gets it, bounces it outside, has the first down, pickup of about 13 for DeMonte Moore.
And DeMonte Moore, who I know personally, me and his father grew up together, a good friend of mine. He had a great game against Wood last week.
4 TDs.
4 TDs in the blue-black game. And, I mean, he's just like he was shot out of a cannon, man, just running all over the field. Almost went for a career day of 200 yards.
So 1st and 10. This time, Kane Cunningham gets it, breaks a couple of tackles. He's still going, and he takes it all the way in for 6. I tell you what, you're wearing 2-4, you got to turn into beast mode, and Kane Cunningham takes it in for the touchdown.
Somebody needs to give him his Skittles.
Yeah, beast mode there. A little rendition of our friend out there in Seattle.
Yeah, he's an Oakland native, one of the best high school players from the Oakland area, and then he went up and played Cal Berkeley. And last 2 weeks, if you had Marshawn Lynch on your fantasy team, you are a very, very happy man or woman.
Definitely.
I certainly did.
Oh, look at this guy. But Aaron Rodgers has been the king of fantasy here the last couple of weeks.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
Yeah, that first half was some first half for Aaron Rodgers there, and with
only
the
6 touchdowns.
Only 6.
Certainly killed me.
Another guy from this area. I believe he grew up in Chico, played at Butte Community College, then also, like Marshawn Lynch, went and played for Cal, and I believe they played on the same team.
Yeah, I think
not 100% sure.
I think you're right.
It's
I believe
very possible.
Marshawn was a senior at the time that Rodgers was a junior, sophomore. We are going to have to look that up a little later, fellas.
And the thing about Cal is they have come out with a lot of stars. Deshaun Jackson.
A guy that saved my fantasy team this year, Justin Forsett.
Yes, yes. Shane Vereen that plays with New England.
I'll tell you what, he's a sleeper pick. If you're on FanDuel, pick up Shane Vereen this weekend against Indy. I think Shane Vereen's going to have a good game. Not running the ball, but receiving the ball out of the backfield. So 35-7, Vacaville scores on 2 plays after the turnover on downs from Yuba City. They kick this one deep. Rose fields it at the 1, slips a little bit in that muddy type of area. And Rose taken down at the 20-yard line.
And I have to say, all season, the Vacaville defense has been great. The Vacaville offense has been great. But the special teams has been just excellent.
And Chad Hecking, the punter, also, too, was the All-Mel Selection Punter of the Year. And like you mentioned, the kickoff coverage has been outstanding here for Vacaville. We got a late flag on the play.
Yeah, I don't think Vacaville has gave up a kick return or a punt return for a TD, so very stout on special teams. And as we know, all three phases of the game have to be clicking, and sometimes they have to compensate for the other two.
And they're all clicking tonight for sure, all three phases, especially defensively. I mean, they've done a very good job shutting down this vaunted Russian attack for the Honkers. So 15-yard penalty on Vacaville. And that's really been the only knock on Vacaville here tonight. They've had a lot of costly penalties, but so far it hasn't hurt them at all. At 35-7, Seaman gets it, trying to bounce it outside, and he's still going. First down for Seaman, a tough, hard-nosed run for Brian Seaman, the senior running back.
And a nice shoestring tackle by Mikael Walker there, or otherwise he probably would have been gone.
So 1st and 10, Yuba City. And you get a look at the mix again with the replay.
And Marvell, you alluded to earlier.
Come on, Big Kahuna. First and 10, Seaman gets it again. And he has another first down carry. Pickup of 12.
Running very hard, Seaman, for the Honkers. And I was going to mention, Marvell, you mentioned earlier about the fleet of running backs from Cal, C.J. Anderson, who plays for the Denver Broncos.
Was it Benicia Bethel?
Bethel,
Yeah.
Bethel High out of Vallejo High School. Great little running back. And he has some game for
How about that touchdown he had last week, that one-handed 56-yard touchdown reception?
Yeah.
And, he was pumped to be back, kind of not his hometown, but in Oakland, pretty close, of course,
Pretty
the Bay
close.
Area.
Definitely had a lot of friends and family out there supporting him.
Hope he does it again this week. Picked him up on fantasy. So 1st and 10. This time they give it to the fullback, I believe, and that is Taylor Wolschlager.
And I think that last possession for the Honkers, when they was not able to get the 4th and short and turn it over on downs in the very next play, you have Reynolds going in. So right now they just want to kind of save face and don't get blew out of here.
So it's 35-7. We're at the 4-minute mark. Once again, you're checking out the Solano College Sports Network, covering Vacaville High School football this year. Seaman gets it and keeps those legs churning. He's going to be about 2 yards shy of the first down, so 3rd and 2 upcoming for Yuba City.
I'll give it 1 or 2 more plays before I think we see a big run from Brian Seaman.
Yeah, he just does a good job, keeps those legs churning, and usually you don't see the first guy that makes contact ever bring down this cat.
Definitely. He's able to keep going, and it takes a group to get him down. So he's running hard out there, not giving up even though his team is down 28.
So 3rd and 2. Shalowitz under center, and I believe we might get a neutral zone infraction on Malik Walker, number 85, and he was also a all-Mel first-team selection along with Jeremiah LeMahieu.
Yeah. And Zach and Marvell, I'm looking at the body language of John Horn right now. I know he's one of their impact players, but he just don't seem like he's really into the game. Maybe it's because of the score, but I think they got at him a little bit too late. When you got a player of that caliber, you have to get to him often and early, and I think the Honkers did not do that in that first half.
And that penalty actually went the other way. Looked like a little movement early there from Gage Welty, the left tackle. Airing this one out. And this one just out of the reach for his intended target. Rose on the play, so that'll bring up 4th and 7.
And when you're down by 28, you're going to just have to go for it on 4th down and hope for the best.
And trying to fit that one into double coverage. And Vacaville's defense has been very impressive here tonight. And if they want to make a run deep in the Sac Joaquin section playoffs, it's going to come down to their defense making plays.
Definitely, because as you go further in the playoffs, the team that you're going to play are going to be better. So you may come into a juggernaut next week, depending on the outcome of the –
Yeah, Delaware, Roseville.
Exactly.
So 4th and 7, Shalowitz going for it all. And this one is incomplete. No penalty on the play, so Vacaville will take over at their own 37-yard line.
And good defense by Cassius Reynolds out there. And they were trying to get the ball to John Horn, and he had a step, but Cassius Reynolds was over there to clean it up and deflect the ball. Good D.
Your boy, Amari Johnson, also there helping out. And Their secondary, man, these guys are absolutely loaded with those two. And Jonathan Burke, also one of the best safeties
in the NBL. You're right about that.
Clearly, this defense is showing that they want to win this game. Here it is, the score is 35-7, and they're still providing double coverage.
Hecking, throwing, first down. Kane Cunningham showing his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, picks up about 6. And you get a look at the Yuba City bench.
Nice stop by Blake Rose there. He's another guy that goes both ways for this Yuba City Honker team. So, you know, these guys are probably spent right now, but they're giving it their all, and they're keeping it going as far as trying to stay competitive.
So 2nd and 5. Hecking gives this one to Benjamin Lopes. He has the first down and more, keeps going, and he is finally taken down by John Horn, and the ball does come out.
The ball is loose. It looked like a Vacaville defender was able to get on there, but I'm not sure. They're going to have to uncover the pile and see. And
what a play. John Horn able to catch up on Lopes and able to strip that ball out, just as your coach as a young kid. Go in and strip the rock and see if we can get a replay lined up right here. And you got to love that. Down 35-7, and you're still hustling and going and making plays, able to rip the ball out and get the ball back to the offense.
And as I was saying earlier, exactly, Zach, these guys are not playing to score. They're playing for pride and didn't give up on the play, tracked them down, and was able to hammer it out from the back.
So John Horn, a guy that's made plays both sides this year, 11 interceptions for Horn. You get a look right there. Just the technique was perfect, able to get the ball out from Lopes.
What an impact player.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with John Horn along with Bryant Seaman, the running back, and also the quarterback. I like the reference you gave him with Tim Tebow. He's kind of got that big build, and you see the strip right there, and Yuba City able to jump on the loose rock, and you see John Horn all pumped up.
Yeah, definitely, and that may change, you know, his demeanor. I spoke earlier that it seemed like his body language was a little bit down, but, you know, he proved me wrong on that last play. He was able to track down the guy and get the ball back for his offense. So let's see if he can do something impactful on the offensive side of the ball.
And looking at Horn and Seaman, they don't want this game to end because this would be their final game in high school football, both seniors.
Both seniors, and like we talked about earlier, having 30 of your team's 45 touchdowns. We know that these guys are busy week in and week out. So they may not win this game, but they're still going to play hard and give it their all. So that's all you can expect.
And, you know, I hate math, but I like it when it's numbers like that. So they have 66% of the touchdowns scored from Yuba City, 30 out of 45. And Seaman had one earlier, but that's the only touchdown Yuba City has scored in this one. So shotgun for Yuba City after second turnover forced by the Honkers defense. Shalowitz keeps it, and he moves forward to about the 24-yard line. 2nd and 3 upcoming, and Marvell, what is Yuba City? They just got to keep throwing, right?
They're going to have to. I mean, I do like, just as I said, if they were going to run the ball, they'd have to use the legs of their quarterback. But at this point, I would either give it to Bryant Seaman in a passing play or John Horn.
Yeah, well, for Yuba City, they're going to have to try to use some type of trickery to get the Bulldogs offline and see if they can do something that they're not expecting them to do.
So shotgun, 2nd and 4. Shalowitz rolling out to his right. Seaman in the flat, right at the 26-yard line, about a yard shy of the first down.
A nice hit by Ramon Gonzalez for the Bulldogs. He's been all over the field today. That's probably a half a dozen tackles for him right now.
So let's see if I can get an update on that Wilsey Wood score.
And I heard you alluded to the Elk Grove and Vanden score. You think they're going to put up a
It was 47 at half.
It was 47-0 at half. You get outside shot to put up 100.
You know what? They'll probably get that running clock going in the second half. They'll probably fall a little short as 3rd and 1 play does not work for Yuba City. Vacaville's defense all over that as the quarterback, Shalowitz, had nowhere to go.
Cassius Reynolds again with the stop. Out there making plays on both sides of the ball. So, Marvell, you have seen the Yuba City Honkers kind of sputter tonight. Do you think that they should try some out-the-box situations to get back in this game, or are they just playing and going through the motions?
Oh, they do run the fake punt, and they got a lot of room to run, and he puts his head down and gets the first down. John Horn, of course, a wide receiver, also the punter, and able to get the first down by a couple of yards. So, Kareem, you called that one. A little trickeration there in the first down on the fake punt.
And just as I was saying earlier, when you're down 35-7, it pays off to do all, everything outside the box, just as Kareem was saying. And that was a very good play call by the head coach.
So that is the final play of the third quarter, a fake punt conversion, but it's still 35-7 Vacaville, and it sure is looking like they're going to advance for the 8th time in the last 9 years to at least the second round of the Sac Joaquin section playoffs. I mean, Coach Pop has done a very good job winning these opening round games, and of course, Coach Pop has 2 Sac Joaquin section titles, a D2 and a D1 title in 2006 and 2011.
Yeah, and Coach Pop, he has a great program going here. Greg Pop touched on it earlier, the consistency with the program, only losing 3 MEL games since he's been the coach here. And with this team being 8-2 overall and 4-1 in league, like you said earlier, Zach, they have a good shot to make a deep run in the sections and see if they can get to that championship game.
You guys want to hear something crazy? So Vacaville's the biggest rivalry, Will C. Wood, scored a touchdown, made it 33-32, trailing by 1. You got to go for 2, right?
Yes, sir.
You think they got it?
No.
No.
You guys are both wrong. They got it and won 34-33. They're moving on to the second round as this pass aired out and trying to get it to Rose. So if Will C. Wood goes for 2, 34-33 W. They are moving on to the second round. That means they've got a date with Elk Grove, though, and that's going to be a very tough matchup for Will C. Wood.
Tough matchup for Will C. Wood, and I feel good for the program. They're able to get a win after having a tough loss last week against Vacaville, 42-14. So they get to move on, but as you alluded to, Zach, going up against Elk Grove is not going to be something they're going to look forward to.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough matchup for Will C. Wood. 2nd and 10, Shalowitz throws this one off his right foot, incomplete.
Through the hands of John Horn there. And even though this team is probably not going to win, these guys are still out there giving it their best effort, and that's all you can ask from these programs.
So taking a look real quick at the Sac Joaquin section history, and of course they started playing for section titles in 1976. The school with the most overall Sac Joaquin section titles is Central Catholic. 17 wow. Sac Joaquin section titles. Third down, tipped up. Flag on the play as this one goes incomplete.
May have a holding here. Seems like they were trying to set up a screen. And I believe it was 63 for the Honeckers.
Anthony Bagley.
Yeah, who may be the victim of the hold.
I applaud them for trying to go with the screen, but to me that seems like a play that you should have went earlier when you were only down
first down
14
type of play, right?
Points.
Definitely.
Or maybe when you were
back in the first
third
half.
down and short, perhaps. Those would have been excellent plays with Bryant Seaman.
Yeah, I think you're right, Marvell. Some of their play calling was a little bit suspect, especially in the first half. I know they're a running team, but, when you're going against a program like Vacaville who puts up a lot of points, you're going to have to throw the ball, and they should have did that a little earlier than they did.
So was holding partner, as you called, Kareem, and penalty decline. 4th and 10 now for Yuba City. And you see the green shoes, so Reed Ramirez back to fill the punt. Line drive kick, filled it at the 38. Ramirez, nice cut. Trying to bounce it outside, and nice stiff arm. Nice job by 20 there. Bryce Andrews there to push him out of bounds.
Yeah, he was hanging on for dear life, man. He angled him to the sidelines, was able to get number 4, Reed Ramirez, out of there.
Reed Ramirez just refused to go down on that play.
Well, we saw his boy Kane Cunningham with that rushing touchdown early. He's trying to get his cane on.
And I know it may be a little early to say, but if I had to pick an MVP of this game, I'd have to go with Kane Cunningham.
Yeah, I mean, Cassius Reynolds got an argument too. He had a nice first half, 2 touchdowns, but Kane Cunningham has had an outstanding game, and he's really been the guy that's getting those hard-earned yards, and that last touchdown run he had might have earned him player of the game honors.
Certainly a beast on both offense and defense. Always standing out on every play.
Looking to throw. And this one complete to the tight end, Zach Myers. And he has enough for the first down. So again, a little tight end action involved here. Coach Pop,
Definitely.
late flag.
Another flag on the play, but definitely a little action to the right as the play began, and then the tight end popped out on your left side, was able to get some positive yards in the first down. But let's check the penalty.
And even though it's a 35-7 score, I like Coach Pop opening up the passing game because these are plays that they might need to run next week against either Del Oro or Roseville.
Exactly. You want to get your work
So
out
no
there.
flag on the plays. It's picked up.
Okay, the flag was picked up. But you do want to get your work out there. The game is somewhat out of hand, being 35-7 with a little bit over 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So sometimes you want to run some plays, like you said, Zach, that you can use in the future playoffs game.
So 1st and 10, ball at the Yuba City 43. Kane Cunningham gets it, breaks a couple of tackles, picks up about 7. So now while we have a sec, let's take a look back in the CIF State Bowl history. And it started back in 2006 where they matched up the top teams from Northern California against the top teams from Southern California. They've had 36 bowl games. Who do you think's winning, SoCal or NorCal?
Northern Cal.
What do you
I
think?
say SoCal.
You got it right, Marvell. 21-15, SoCal
Wow.
repping
They
against
repping out
NorCal.
there. Okay. Well,
But NorCal has won 6 of the 7 Open Division Championship games, which is a matchup of the 2 best teams. So they got bragging rights at the top.
Okay.
As this one goes to Cunningham again, and he about a yard shy. But last year was the first year Southern California finally won that Open Division game as St. John Bosco beat De La Salle 20-14 behind 5-star QB Josh Rosen, who's leading Bosco to another potential Open Division Championship run this year, and they start tonight in maybe the toughest bracket in all high school football, the Pac-5. It features them along with Servite, Long Beach Poly, Mater Dei, and the run goes here to Lopes, trying to make up for that fumble. Nice spin move, and he is finally taken down inside the 20.
Benjamin Lopes, I must say, being starting behind Cassius Reynolds and Kane Cunningham, he's looking to get the ball too. He wants to stand out also in this game. 2 very impressive runs despite the fumble in the first. He's showing that he can also be an explosive player.
Yeah, and I love Coach Pop going back to his guy Lopes right there. We saw the same thing with Kane Cunningham in the first half when Cunningham put the ball on the ground, and same thing with Lopes here. He went right back to him, and Lopes, as you see on the replay, look at this spin move action, and able to pick up about 20 yards on the carry.
And I'm very impressed with Vacaville because by now most teams would start to wind down. They're still marching down the field.
Hecking trying to get a second rushing touchdown, and he is just short right at the 1-yard line. So Hecking showing his wheels a little bit here tonight.
Definitely. He got some decisive speed there. I mean, I know he had a quarterback keeper in the first half to score, but once he gets them legs going, man, he runs pretty good.
Chad Hecking, just such an impressive player. We talk a lot about the running backs and wide receivers. He certainly deserves his respect as well. He has done a tremendous job tonight.
You know, I know quarterbacks hate the phrase game manager, but Chad Hecking is a very good game manager, and he's just very poised at the quarterback position, and he does a good job selling those play action. He's able to get out and run in space, and also he's showing he's a decent passer on the run too.
Yeah, definitely.
Certainly reminds me of a young Andrew Luck.
Let's not get carried away just yet, all right?
You're able to throw the ball and use them legs. I'm just saying.
Vacaville gets another rushing touchdown. This time they go to Wyatt Faulkner. The backup fullback will sub in for Kane Cunningham, and he gets a postseason touchdown. And it's 41-7, Vacaville.
And you know, Coach Pop will want to, rest that 3-headed monster of Moore, Reynolds, and Cunningham to get them ready for that next playoff game next week. So you get these underclassmen, a little rep time and a little experience out there on the field for the playoffs, and all is well for Vacaville.
So extra point awaiting for 42-7 lead for Vacaville. Kick is up, and it is good. 42-7 Bulldogs.
Very impressed with this Vacaville Bulldogs team. Very impressive.
And you touched on earlier, Zach, about the CFI between the North and the South. Said Southern Cal had a 21-15 edge, but they was able to win the Open Championship last year.
Yeah, so they win in the big bowls. That's like, winning the UFC main event compared to winning on the prelims.
Okay. Now, you also mentioned De La Salle, who was a powerhouse back in the early and mid-'90s.
They've always been a powerhouse. They had that 151-game winning streak.
Exactly.
And they had a 40-game winning streak going into the championship game last year, but St. John Bosco able to hand them their first loss in a few years. And this year, undefeated, heading into the postseason again, and currently the number 2 team on our Excellent 25 rankings on Max Preps. And Antoine Custer, the kid, is an absolute beast running the rock for De La Salle. So Vacaville and kicks this one out of bounds, and I know that is making LSU fans cringe, seeing the kickoff go out of bounds, as that was a big play in that Alabama overtime win last weekend.
Big play in that win for Alabama going into LSU and getting Death Valley.
Exactly, Death Valley. That's a tough place to win.
A tough place to win, just like the Swamp. Florida had a good game a few weeks ago against Georgia. So
yeah, that was impressive.
A big win for the Florida Gators.
So now looking back at the CIF Open Division Championship games, it's crazy to think De La Salle won in 2012, 2011, 2010, 2009, and in 2008, they didn't play in the Open Championship game, but they played against Corona Centennial. And Corona Centennial able to beat De La Salle in the 2008 game. That Corona Centennial team, Taylor Martinez was the quarterback, the former Nebraska star, and Vontez Burfict was their starting linebacker. And, of course, Vontez Burfict, a little banged up this year, but a stud linebacker for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Definitely. So a lot of talent out there in this California area, Southern and Northern California.
Yeah, California, Florida, Texas, Georgia right on the cusp. Ohio also, as they give the rock to 1-5, Brandon Thong. So that'll bring up third down. So we're at the 8-minute mark. And Del Oro now up 14-0. Our boy Money Mike dishing us out scores. He doesn't pass too often, but when he does, it's right on the money. So third down. Seaman gets it. Stewart able to wrap him up, and we're going to get a late flag on the play. And this one's going to go on Yuba City, a little late hit.
And it's getting a little chippy out there. I mean, I know Yuba City didn't expect to get blew out 42-7, but you have to keep your professionalism and, don't make the mistakes to give your team those lost hitting yards with penalties.
So all the refs saw that one. We've got 3 flags sitting right around the 40-yard line. Just get a look at the replay, and just Thong blows up one of the Vacaville players there late. Nice replay, guys. And
it looked like he threw a kick there. I don't know if he thought he was doing karate or what.
Oh, he thought he was Albert Hainsworth?
Somebody.
So it came after the play, so it'll be 4th and 20.
And with a little over 7 minutes left in this game, Yuba City just needs to kind of run their offense and try to save face and prevent Vacaville from putting any more points on the board, as we have a 42-7 score here.
And certainly keep their composure.
Yeah, definitely. And, on the last drive that Vacaville had, and you saw John Horn able to chase him down, and those are the type of plays you want to see Yuba City do down big, not the type of things we saw Thong do right there. Just a blatant late hit, and those are where you can see someone get a serious injury. We know head injuries are a big thing in football nowadays, but I get it. I mean, you're down big, you're a little upset, and I can guarantee you Thong felt a little better after that big-time hit.
Yeah, but you don't want to cost your team by, getting a penalty like that. That's showing that you're selfish and you're not a team player. You got to think about it. Just not you out there. There's another 50 and so others, 50 or so guys out there, and you're playing as a unit. So act like one.
And also, they're all representing a school.
Yeah.
So you definitely you don't want to be labeled the wrong way. You want to keep your composure and show that you'll take this loss, but you'll come back much stronger and better.
So now Yuba City set to punt this one. Reed Ramirez and his lime green shoes awaiting at the 40-yard line.
Definitely can't miss them.
Horn gets this one over Stewart. And this one's going to roll out of bounds right around the 41-yard line. 7.5 minutes to go. And it's looking like we might have a Vacaville Del Oro game in round 2. And Del Oro really been one of the most winning programs here in the Sac Joaquin section over the last 5 years. They've done a very good job representing Northern California. Last year, they made it all the way to the D1 championship game in the state of California, lost to Bakersfield 56-26, and back in 2012, they did not make the CIF bowl games. 2011, they lost to Helix, the former school where Reggie Bush and Alex Smith played. In 2010, did not qualify, but that's pretty good. You're representing Northern California in 2 of the last 3 years. There's nowhere to go for Vacaville. See a new quarterback in there.
Chris Wood with a rare carry there.
Also, you see Nate Villalobos, the new quarterback.
We have 2 more flags on the field here, fellas. So,
Hostile horse caller.
Yeah, as I said earlier, a little chippy out there, and you know, Yuba City probably came into this game thinking that they had a chance to compete at a high level, just not meant to be.
So let's see if I can get an update on that Grant score. Last score I saw was 14-7. Grant now up 28-15 in the 4th quarter. And it was a 21-15 game, but Grant had a nice drive to patent their lead up to 13 and up by 2 scores. So you got to like that. The number 16 seed hanging around with the big boys from Sacramento area, the Grant Pacers.
Friday night lights, as they say, any given Sunday. Sometimes these guys just go out there and put it all on the line. And, you know, you get these matchup David and Goliath, but, you know, sometimes they turn out different than that. So great effort by the Vanden.
And I don't know if you guys saw this, but Bleach Report came out with the best comeback ever after we get to this play. I'll break that down. And they run this one outside, and Isaiah Edwards there on the carry. So Plano East was down by 24 with about 3.5 minutes left. They score a touchdown, get it, onside kick, good. Touchdown, onside kick, get it, touchdown. They got 3 onside kicks in a row, and they took the lead up by 3 with 40 seconds left. And John Tyler out in Texas, they return the next kickoff for a touchdown and erase that miraculous 24 comeback win. A lot of people are saying it's the best high school football game ever. I recommend anybody just check it out. It's on Bleacher Report. It's a really good short documentary, about 5 minutes.
Yeah, hey, I mean, just to recover 3 onside kicks in itself in one game is spectacular. So I would just like to see that just from the beginning.
And Marvell's a star, man. He's getting a little interview here on the side. So 3rd down for the Bulldogs.
And a little bit under 5 minutes left in this game. No rush by the Bulldogs right now. They got this game well in hand. And we get some of the 2nd and 3rd stringers out there to get some PT. And,
it's always nice to get a little playoff PT.
Always.
So that's going to be a 4th down upcoming for the Bulldogs as Chris Wood gets the carry, the junior. So I know, Marvell, you're a Raider fan, so things aren't going so well. Kareem, you a Niner?
Yes, sir.
You guys going to make the playoffs?
Definitely going to make the playoffs.
Definitely.
Definitely going to make
Definitely.
the playoffs.
Bold
I think,
prediction.
you know, I mean, a big win in New Orleans last
Huge.
weekend. I mean,
Patty Mills done, though.
I mean, Patty Mills done, but you go into that game when you know 49% of the teams that go 5
So you're
and 4
going off
make
numbers
the
here.
playoffs. Not going off numbers. Just saying, I think it was a win that was needed to show character, to get our identity.
Definitely was.
And to get back on board. I mean, I don't think the Niners have put together a full game as of yet this year.
So do you really believe
Whoa,
that
Hecking with the not top 10 punt right there off the side of the foot. Sorry about that, Marvell.
That's fine. But Kareem, reports just came out that Patrick Willis is going to season
He's on IR.
And it looks like Navarro Bowman also won't be activated. You really do think that this San Francisco 49er team will be able to make it to the playoffs despite having to play Seattle twice as well as Arizona?
You know, I think that it doesn't help that we're going to miss Willis for the rest of the year, and then with Bowman not being activated yet.
Remember the name Borland, baby, the Wisconsin rookie. This kid's baller.
Balling, 18 tackles a few games ago, but with the addition of Alden Smith coming back into the lineup, he's going to pay major dividends for the Liners defense. And, you know, besides that blowout in Denver when Peyton
Shalowitz, nice run there, keeping the pile going to pick up a 7. Sorry, Kareem.
That's okay. But,
late flag.
Another late flag here. But besides that blowout that the Niners suffered to Denver earlier in the year,
that happens a lot to Denver.
The defense been playing spectacular, and I mean nobody was going to beat Denver on that day with Peyton Manning breaking the record. So I think in the second half the Niners have a good shot to finish up 6-2 and make the playoffs in a wild card slot.
And who knows? I mean, Carson Palmer, torn ACL, out for the year. I know they've won a couple of games with Drew Stanton, but we'll see how Arizona does, especially now. The pressure is on as we get into the middle of November. We're getting ready for December football, and the playoff position will be on the line. So it'll be interested to see how Arizona does without their starting quarterback, Carson Palmer. Of course, Patrick Peterson, dude's a stud. They have one of the best defensive fronts, too, in the game.
And, you know, that's the thing. They are 2-1 with Drew Stanton.
Nice run by Seaman.
They've shown that, you know, they can do a little bit of work without Carson. But I do believe now it's going to be the defense's turn to really show that this team can definitely still make it to the playoffs despite losing their star quarterback.
And you saw that last week. Patrick Peterson had 2 interceptions after the Palmer injury and also took one of those back to the house, 4-6.
Definitely. And with Arizona, I mean, you would think with Palmer going on the shift, they're going to fall back a little back closer to the pack, but the defense is stout. And
Andre Ellington having a decent year, too.
Yeah, great year for Ellington. And they got a huge game coming up this weekend against the Detroit Lions.
This one thrown and nearly intercepted, and it is intercepted. Isaiah Myers, he has pick 6 on his mind. Down the sideline, and he is taken down.
Horse collar
tackle there on the quarterback, Brandon Shalowitz.
But Shalowitz showing a nice digs there, man, to angle and get close to there Isaiah Edwards and track him down. He did get a horse collar on him, so there's going to be an additional 15 yards added after the play. But he saved 6. He definitely saved 6 on that play.
I thought Edwards had that one for sure down the sideline.
Certainly. And the thing about this Vacaville defense is if they can continue this on to the next round, they might have a future shot at a Division II.
And you get a look right there. Shalowitz showing the speed and able to grab him down by the back of the jersey, and I believe it was that horse collar tackle, as you guys mentioned.
And was able to elude a defender trying to block him and get to that to Isaiah. So that was a great play made.
And you know what? That might be the final play of the game. We got that running clock going. You get another look right here. Shalowitz, good hustle. Able to drag him down by the back of the jersey, and the interception is the final play as Vacaville wins this one 42-7. And they advance to the second round of the Sac Joaquin section playoffs for the 8th time in the last 9 years. Marvell, go ahead and start with you. What impressed you the most about Vacaville here tonight?
I believe the run game was the most impressive thing between Cassius Reynolds and Kane Cunningham, as well as Benjamin Lopes. All three just shown that they are explosive players and that they can carry this team to a lot of victories. And I was also impressed with the quarterback play by quarterback Chad Hecking. He was certainly outstanding. Just as you said, he was a game manager for this game, made tons of plays in the air as well as his legs. This team looks very good, and I look for them to go deep in the playoffs.
And speaking of that, Kareem, what is the formula for Vacaville moving on here in the Sac Joaquin section playoffs?
Well, I just think they have to stay with their 300 muster of Moore, Reynolds, and Cunningham. I mean, DeMonte Moore had a great game in the blue-black game. Didn't really showcase his skills tonight, but, you know, with Cunningham and Reynolds out there toting the pill, he didn't really have to. So long as they can keep toting the ball and running for a game of over 300 yards a game. Like I said earlier, the competition is going to get a lot more tougher down the stretch as you go further into the playoffs. So you're probably going to have to control time of possession next week and also continue to do what you're doing on defense. Great impact game by the Vacaville Bulldogs today.
And last score, we saw 14-0 Del Oro in the fourth quarter against Roseville. So it's looking like Vacaville have to travel on the road and take on Del Oro next weekend in the D2 Sac Joaquin section playoffs. Final score, Vacaville 42 and the visiting Yuba City Honkers 7. That's all the time we have tonight for Kareem Walton, Marvell Bluford, and Big Kahuna, a.k.a. Greg Poff, and the rest of the Solano College Sports Network team. I'm Zach Poff here, almost said MaxPreps.com, here on the Solano College Sports Network.
All right.